Welcome to the Higher Power Podcast, presented by Higher Power Sports PT, the show dedicated to helping active individuals like you unlock your full potential through expert insights on injury prevention, performance enhancement, and recovery. Kurt Kessler is a board-certified specialist in sports physical therapy and an athletic trainer. In each episode, he and his guests bring you the latest evidence-based strategies to help you move better, feel stronger, and stay injury-free. Let's learn together.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Higher Powered Podcast. On the last episode, I compared insurance physical therapy with the cash-based model. Today's episode, I'm going to explain how my business is structured, what it offers, what I hope to accomplish for everyone I work with, and how to get started if it's something that you ever need. First, I'm going to talk about PT within the healthcare system. And you're probably thinking, wait, didn't you just spend the last pod talking about how you went cash-based because of the system? Yes, I did. But for you to understand why I structured myself differently, I need to tell you how things typically work. In our healthcare system and society, we use pain as the marker for when care is needed and not needed. And how this typically plays out: you get injured or you have some pain that you're dealing with and it starts getting worse. You decide to get checked out. The doctor writes a script for physical therapy and you go to the nearby clinic. Over the course of time and visits, you get out of pain, and that's the best case scenario. Not everybody does. And your PT says, great, you're out of pain. See you later. Or insurance companies will see that you're out of pain and cut you off. This is the most important part. Insurance companies only care that you can do activities of daily living. That means getting in and out of bed, getting dressed, bathing, taking care of yourself, and getting in and out of the car. They don't care if you can garden or pick up your kids or grandkids. They don't care if you can run or exercise. They just need to know that you can survive throughout the day with minimal help. And therefore, that's what therapists in that setting treat for, to get you out of pain so that you can take care of yourself throughout the day, because that is what the system is set up for. And I'm not saying that your PT doesn't care if you can do more. That's not what I'm saying. Your PT wants you to be able to do everything you want. When I was in that setting, I could want to do more for my patients, but really that is the confines of the system. But here's why that's not good enough for active individuals. You can get out of pain, feel decently strong again, but more often than not, there's a measurable difference in your strength that you may or may not be able to feel, you may or may not be aware of, but we can measure it. And usually, when people are doing PT, they have stopped doing exercise or activity altogether, or have been told to rest, which is fine for getting you out of pain. But then you go back to the gym or go back to playing recreational sports or competitive sports at the same time, intensity, frequency that you did pre-injury, and then these deficits of strength and power combined with that quick spike in activity results in re-injury of the same area or a new area, or bare minimum, you return with decreased performance. So for me, yes, I address the pain. That's the whole reason people go to PT, but unlike traditional physical therapy, I don't stop when the pain stops. I work with you until your strength is fully restored, and I guide you through that ramp up to rebuild that chronic workload so that there is a gradual progression to avoid that quick spike in activity that lands people back on the sidelines. I work to get you back to the level of performance you were prior to injury so that you don't fall into this cycle of pain, relief, injury, relief, and so on. And this helps to prevent future injuries. Like I just said, I work with you until you're back at your normal level, not just when you're out of pain, because that is not the best marker for when care should stop. I don't want you to just get off the couch. I want you to be able to get off the couch and back to the gym or the field or whatever your big goal is safely and take care of your injury for good. The system heavily incentivizes reactive treatment. Pharmaceutical companies benefit because when you're in pain, you can medicate. Providers are reimbursed for providing care to ill, or in this case, injured people. There is no financial incentive from insurance companies for individuals to invest in preventative care or sustained health. Do insurance companies pay for your gym membership? No. Okay, I'm off the insurance soapbox now. So let's talk about the process here. So I start with a body mapping session where we talk about the problem the patient is having or you are having, the circumstances around that are unique to them, get an overview of what their current exercise or training habits look like. We discuss recovery, lifestyle, training beliefs, stress management. I do a systematic movement screen to see what is moving well and what is not. Look at techniques for some different movement, assess motion, assess strength, and not just strength sitting on a table, and endurance. I take that information and I come up with a plan for not only how to get them feeling better, but how to actually make them stay better and perform better. I come up with a plan, get them moving better within the healing timeline of whatever the injury is, reintroduce athletic movements, and build a foundation for training and return to sport. Overall, this portion is fairly similar to the physical therapy that you think of, except it is delivered in one-on-one care and highly, highly specific plans. The in-person sessions are geared towards manual therapy or hands-on treatment, evaluating specific movements or things that come up over the course of the week. The in-person visits are designed to help the patient get out of pain and to also do and address things that would be more difficult for them to do on their own. Now, the other part of what I do, and this is the thing that makes this experience different than what most people have had in the past, and that is what I call my Revive program. So this is where the implementation of that highly specific plan takes place. This is where I create the specific program to get out of pain, reintroduce exercises in the correct parameters in order to restore movement, and then over time progress all the way back to full capacity. This is delivered via an app, and it takes place in between visits and then continues once the in-person visits are no longer needed. It gives the patient increased access to me because they can message me at any time in the app, take videos for me to assess their form and movement. It allows them to ask questions, so they get my guidance in decision making for the activities that they do. And where it helps me is it gives me an overview of their activity so that I can analyze their response to their program and give them feedback so that they don't have to wait until the next visit to let me know if something is or isn't working, and so that I can ensure they're getting the desired result from the exercises. It ends up making the in-person visits even more efficient because we don't have to spend 5, 10, 20 minutes rehashing everything they did throughout the week. I can see what they did. I can see their activity, and then over the longer course of time, I can analyze trends and make sure that we're hitting the marks that we need to. And this is the same process for the patients that I manage remotely without any in-person sessions. People are not paying for an exercise program. You can find a million of those online or YouTube or whatever. People are paying for the specificity for what they need and the guidance of someone who is highly trained in this area to help walk with them and support them in reaching their goals. It's not meant to replace a gym or fitness routine. It is meant to integrate within their existing routine. And this has been a game changer in terms of making the program specific to what the patient needs and getting the quicker results that everybody wants. And I will say, while the results are quicker, this is not a quick fix. Everyone is looking for a quick fix. And when it comes to rehab, the body, and health in general, it doesn't exist. This is the process for getting back to true 100%. Getting out of pain is not good enough. It's not, because it leaves way too much risk of the same injury happening again or a new injury popping up as a result. This is what is going to bridge the gap between getting out of pain and being a strong, resilient athlete without fear of injury. This is what you won't find in the traditional setting because our healthcare system isn't set up to allow it. So I told you on the last podcast that I would explain who each setting is appropriate for. If your goals are to just get out of pain so that you're able to do the basic functions of your life, like getting dressed, getting around the house, getting on and off your toilet, getting in and out of the car, walking through the grocery store, the traditional outpatient setting is perfectly equipped to help individuals meet those goals. That is what that setting is really built for. I would argue that many people could still reach those same goals, maybe even more efficiently in the cash-based physical therapy setting, like I talked about last episode, but there are not enough cash-based physical therapists to serve the needs of all the people that need physical therapy. So the traditional setting is fine for those just looking to get out of pain and do basic functions. The person that would benefit most from my care, or someone like me, is somebody whose goals are more physically complex, such as athletes, those who keep up with a consistent fitness routine, or even just highly active individuals that the traditional setting fell short of what they were looking for. I'm not saying that what I do is the right answer for everybody, but if it's not, I would still welcome the opportunity to get people to the right provider for what they need or what they're looking for. One of my favorite things about what I'm doing is that I have the freedom and ability to not just get people out of pain, but actually make a lasting change and a lasting difference in their health. I have the opportunity to make the experience exactly what the patient wants and needs. So it's very exciting for me to be able to do this. It's very exciting to be able to share my passion for it and hopefully have the opportunity to continue to build and shape this and help more people. The steps that someone takes to get this process started is just to reach out and connect with me. We then schedule a strategy call to see if what I do can help you, to see if we're a good fit to work together. If not, then I point you in the direction to someone who is. If yes, then we move forward with the body mapping session that I talked about earlier and build a plan from there. I just want to give a quick shout out to Ray Gorman for pioneering the model and prescriptive exercise program concept. He's been my business coach, and going through his program has just as much impact on the clinical and logistical side of the business as it has my mental approach to business and life in general. So a big, heartfelt thanks to Ray. That's going to do it for today's show. Stay tuned. As promised, the next episode will have a very special guest that will give us a glimpse into life and rehab in pro sports. Thanks to everybody for watching or listening. For more information on what I'm doing, please contact me or visit www.hpsportspt.com. You can find me on Instagram at higherpowersportspt. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Higher Powered Podcast, presented by Higher Powered Sports PT. We hope you gained valuable insights on how to stay strong, move better, and prevent injury, all backed by expert knowledge in sports physical therapy and athletic training. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Your support helps us bring more evidence-based tips and strategies to active individuals just like you. For more resources or to connect with us, head over to hpsportspt.com. That's hpsportspt.com. Remember, you've got the power to perform at your best. Keep training smarter, recovering faster, and living stronger. Just a reminder that the content shared in this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It should not be considered medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your health or treatment plan. Thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you next time on the Higher Powered Podcast.